He grew up on the south side of LA, a member of the Bloods. Watched his dad get shot 12 times. He too was once shot in the back. It was hip-hop, he says, that saved him. His name, Luis Freese, AKA Be Real, the lead rapper of the iconic band out of Southgate, California called Cypress Hill. He and his bandmates Sendog and DJ Moggs were the first Latino hip-hop stars. They've sold more than 9 million albums, nominated for 3 Grammys, have a star on the Walk of Fame, the best-selling Latin rap group of all time.
Cypress Hill!
And Be Real is also a titan entrepreneur. He not only sells his own brand of weed, but bridges the gap between cannabis, music, apparel, and the philosophy, there is strength in being unapologetically you. The unstoppable Be Real. He is today's LA Story. Hello, everyone, and welcome to a very cool edition of LA Stories. I'm Giselle Fernandez, and we're coming to you from the downtown recording studios of the iconic Luis Freese, aka Latin rapper Be Real. Iconic not just in the LA music scene, but in the world of hip-hop for introducing Latino rappers and Latino rhymes into a world that we just weren't in before. You're a legend. It's so great to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
So hip-hop celebrated its 50th anniversary. You were a big part of that history. When you look back at everything that you've done, the doors that you've opened, particularly to Latino rappers, I mean, Cypress Hill, what are you most proud of?
Just the fact that we had that impact and that we were allowed to flourish in the way that we have, and the fact that we were Latino would shine through because we would sprinkle our music with that flavor. And it worked for us, and it opened the door for a lot of other Latino rappers and artists to come through.
Yeah, you have made the point throughout your career that, hip-hop, it's always been multicultural.
Yes. Since day one, white kids, black kids, Latin kids, some Asian kids, all involved in different aspects of hip-hop culture. We've been there since day one.
Yeah, and you've been there since day one. You were paving the way in ways other people weren't.
It started off as a hobby for us. We were big fans of Run DMC, Public Enemy, Houdini, EPMD, and stuff like that.
Those were your influences.
Yeah, they showed us all that we could do this.
Didn't your bandmate, DJ Moggs, tell you your voice was boring, you better put it up a little? Is that where you got the high-pitched voice?
That's the uniqueness of our brotherhood, is that we can tell each other something very honestly. Lyrics were good, but they weren't cutting through, and finally he pulled me to the side. He goes,
dude, you gotta lift up your voice.
We gotta do something about that voice. And we're like, well, let's try that. And we didn't think Muggs was gonna like it. But when I presented the song to him in this form, he was like, that's it.
Did you really study with an opera teacher so that you
could
really learn to strengthen your voice? You did?
Yeah, I did, because I didn't know how to breathe properly. I was over projecting from up here. And then, back then I was smoking a lot of blunts and drinking whiskey and all that combination. So it was affecting my voice. And the thing is, unless you go to a performing arts school, there's really no education for a young artist to come up and say, okay, you got to control your energy, control your voice with your mannerisms, with your movements, as well as your projection. When we would listen to some of our playback,
like, ooh.
I'd hear my voice and was like, ooh.
So let's take our viewers back so they really understand where you came from. You were in a gang and you kind of grew up with a chaotic childhood. Your father was shot 12 times in thug life. You also saw your brother get shot and his gaping open wounds.
Yeah, I came from a pretty serious family that were, into some craziness, obviously. My father, when he got shot, we realized why we were moving on. He was doing some things that caused that to happen to him. And then my brother, he was involved in gangs himself. And that sort of kind of influenced me.
You were a part of the Bloods for a while.
Yeah, my older brother, who passed away a couple of years ago, actually.
Sorry.
He was in a Latin gang in the community where Bloods were prevalent in the neighborhood and stuff like that. And I sort of took to that lifestyle.
I read when you were 17, you got caught in a gang shooting and you got hit yourself.
Yeah. My mother, you know, was trying to pull me out of there. Send Dog, Mello, and Muggs were trying to pull me out because they knew I had potential in the writing, but I would not have it. I was very much fully indoctrinated.
But when you got shot and you were lying at Martin Luther King hospital and your buddies were around you and they said they believed in you, come and get out of the gang life, come and do music, that you said is what saved your life?
Partially, because, you know, what happens with some of us that are involved in gang banging and we get shot and we live through it, there's that invincibility thing that you think you have. Because some guys get shot multiple times and they live through it and they're lucky. That was what was happening to me because I lived through it.
Wow. You started writing about the life in the hood that you experienced that really resonated, that was not being told, at least not from the Latino rapper before.
Yeah, I felt like if I was going to write anything, it would be about my surroundings and my experiences and the experiences of the guys who have gone through it with me. That became an opportunity to be a voice for others in a similar situation, and that there's a way out.
That's the heart and soul of your success, don't you think?
Yeah, and I found myself wanting to be in the studio more than I wanted to be on the street.
But you said that the transition from thug life to music was really hard.
It was. I had a conversation with my group of people and said, hey, I'm gonna go do this. If anybody's got a problem with it, I need to know. And they were like, nah, you go do that, because I think they saw an opportunity for something better. And to see one of theirs go out and make it into the world, I think they were, you know, supportive of that instead of saying, no, you're right here with us. You can't go nowhere.
But even when you got into it, you were like, this is not going to lead me anywhere.
Yeah, at first I was like, what am I doing? There's obviously more Crips involved in the music industry than there were Bloods at the time. But what I saw was that a lot of these other guys that do the same music we do, who were from different neighborhoods, who would be considered enemies or rivals and stuff like that, they embraced us and, you know, asked me to be on songs, or we do tours together and we hang out. You know, it was all love because we love the music and we're trying to do something positive. And that told me, I would never bring the gang banging culture into the music with me. I left it behind, and it was part of who I was before I came in, and I learned a lot from it, but I would not let it hinder me or take me back or anchor me down, and I would not glorify it. I would speak of the things that we went through while we were living that life and all the harsh realities of it, but never glorifying and showing that there is truly, in fact, a way out if you seek it.
Thank you for watching our YouTube channel. For more stories in your communities, click the subscribe button right here. You can also download our app or watch us on TV for the latest information, balanced coverage, weather updates every 10 minutes, and more. We'll see you then.